All right, guys, so you're trying to break through and scale your business. As you learned in one of the previous videos, the key to doing that is to be able to form scalable relationships with your customers. Not the same kind of relationship that you would form with your neighbor, but the kind of relationship where it's mutually beneficial. You deliver them a lot more value than they pay you for in return, but it's mutually beneficial. They purchase things. And the key is to do that with tools where you don't have to be present for every relationship formed. So if you use video and put it online, if you write something, put it online, the radio, even a billboard, you're not present for each relationship formed. Now there's a process to how people form relationships. It is similar between real relationships in person, but it's different too. We're going to go through that. I'm one of the leading practical psychologists in the world. I went to Stanford University. I've got a master's in science from Stanford. And that is my superpower as an entrepreneur. So you don't need any particular resources. Whatever tools or resources you have, we're going to show you how to use those to create scalable relationships. Before I realized that that was the key to breaking through and scaling in business, I had gone broke, and I started over and did this perfectly fine from having nothing, way less than you've got. So you can definitely do this. And the thing is, you have to understand how to do it, how to take those tools, because the reason other businesses are succeeding and the reason it's 99% of businesses never break through and achieve any kind of scale is because there's a hidden knowledge kind of element to that. It's not so simple as just presenting your product. There's a process to how it's done. So I want to dive in and show you specifically how Entrepreneurship Solved shows you how to do that process and all of the pieces of it. We don't leave anything out so that there's no cracks you can fall through and fail. We want to make sure that you get each part of that process with whatever tools that you've got, from how you first get attention, to how you get engagement, to how you turn that into a relationship, to how you sell to that relationship, and how you keep it a good one, because you want to keep those relationships to establish. So let's go ahead and dive in and actually look at what's in just the first three chapters, how that's going to show you the beginning of that process. There's going to be people who make millions just off of 3 seconds alone. So you're crazy if you don't at least give it a shot and try it. Let's dive in and show you how we go into this process and how we're going to teach you that process and how you're going to break through.
So the first thing that we're going to do right here in the free first 10 chapters of the book is dive in and look at why relationships are different. We're going to look at how they are used in multiple different businesses, basically all successful businesses that are not commodities businesses. How they create the relationships, how they use different tools, how they scale that, and how that leads to profitability for them. We're going to go through all of that and start showing you how to do it and how all these other businesses do it so that you get the same epiphany that I got that changed my life and my career. Then we're going to talk about something that I'm sure a lot of you are wondering. Why isn't everyone talking about this? If they're all doing it, why isn't everybody talking about it? Well, there are a lot of strategies out there that create relationships, like content marketing. That's just a more haphazard way to do it. But the fact is, common knowledge doesn't create competitive advantages. Anything that everyone knows now is just common knowledge, it's just common domain, and you need a competitive advantage. So you have to find knowledge that other people that you're competing against don't have. So while they're all forming relationships, if you know that and you know the process, you can do it better. Think of when content marketing was brand new. All of a sudden, if you started content marketing, not many other people were doing it, that meant that you were forming better relationships with customers than your competitors, and content marketers were doing incredibly well. Now that everybody knows the content marketing trick, that is no longer a superior way to form relationships, and there's people pouring content out there that are really not doing that well at their business at all. Why? Because it's common knowledge now. So you need to find sources like this that not everybody's reading and get on them before everybody else knows that information. We're going to teach you the general process, which will always be the case, but there will be, over time, an escalation in how good people are at forming relationships. So right now, they're not very good at it, and that means if you get in right now, you're going to find success much easier because this is not common knowledge. So this is one of my absolute favorite parts of the first 10 chapters here. One of my biggest hangups is I thought I couldn't learn anything from somebody if their name wasn't Elon Musk or Richard Branson. And that held me back insanely. It was a huge, huge roadblock for me. When I finally let that down, I learned some of the biggest epiphanies, the matches that really started the fire and broke me through, from names like Jeff Walker, people that you probably have never heard of. It was when I gave up thinking that I had to hear it from Elon Musk and started opening my mind and learning a lot more from a lot more people that I broke through, and I want to make sure that you guys don't get hung up by that same thing. This is single-handedly probably the most valuable section in the entire free first 10 chapters, and really one of the most valuable in the entire book, period. This is something that catches up almost all people trying to do business on the internet. You have to choose the right distribution channel. This section alone can save you and make you insane amounts of money. Hundreds of thousands of dollars, millions of dollars, can save you so much frustration. You have to know this, guys. I love this section and it has so much value. And I'm guessing that almost all of you are probably doing this wrong. And we're gonna talk about my own aha moment, where I really broke through and started really getting on the path to profitability and scaling, and really started seeing major scale in my business. And we're gonna go through that story and talk about it so that you can see the exact same things that changed my mind and really changed everything for me.
So guys, I hope you're starting to see how high level this information is, how it's things that you're not gonna find anywhere else, how it took over $500,000 of ad testing just to develop this information, let alone collecting the information you would get from Russell Brunson's books and Gary Vaynerchuk's books and their videos and blah, 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 on and on and on. You're getting all of that in one place. This would take you, like it took me, a decade and well over $500,000 to replicate this information. Or you can just have it. You can just start on it. And the thing is, I hope that you can see that when you have the ability to form a relationship with your customers remotely via tools that scale, anything from writing to video. Do you have to be great on video? No. Do you have to be a great writer? No. There's always a tool that you can use. But I hope you can even use billboards. You can even use your storefront. You can use your in-person presence at a farmer's market, whatever it might be. But it has to be something that can scale enough to support your business and your goals. And we'll talk about all of that. And I hope that you can see when you can take something, especially something remote, and form a relationship with your customers, and that they can go through each piece of that process and it's seamless, and they can see the benefit of your product, but they can also get to know you or your business. It doesn't even have to be you as the face, it can be your brand. When that happens, and then you can take that and you can send 1,000 people to it and get 1,000 relationships, or you can send 100,000, get 100,000 relationships. What would that do for your business? Think about that. Can you succeed at that point? If you can do that, can anything stop you? Would you still be having a hard time breaking through and getting the level of profit that you want if you could do that? I want to let you answer that for yourself. That's why you should be excited about this. That's why we're so excited about this. That's why this should energize you. That's why you should be thrilled to get started on it right now. All you have to do is show us where to send it and we'll shoot it to you. We're not email marketers. Like, email marketing's super boring. We're just going to email you about this. We're just going to send it to you, and we're just going to get you going through so that you can succeed. Because I got stuck for over 3 years in a hell that I don't want anybody else to go through because I was falling through the cracks of all these other books. I had to put that together myself. And now that I did, I don't think that I just did that for me. I want to share it with you. That should be super exciting. That should be energizing. And that is worth at least a few minutes of your time to at least read the first 10 minutes or so, or the first 10 pages or so of the book. And what's that going to take you? Like I said, you've probably seen me say before, you could like go get a cup of coffee with that amount of time. You could watch a few YouTube videos with that amount of time. Or you could get started on this, and if I'm right, it very well might change your life. I'm very confident that it will. That should energize you. So I'm excited to see you guys in there, and let me know if you have any questions.